That's awful.
Oh man, I'm just kidding, everybody. Welcome to Four Sports Podcast, episode 2. I'm here with Josiah, and
What's
this
up?
is Rob,
Hello.
and we are gonna dive right in to Star Wars news
Star
with
Wars?
Josiah.
All right. First topic: Star Wars. I teased this before. I haven't told you this. This is big news. Could be potentially.
Okay.
Yeah. Turn the fan off. No,
Is
you
it
gotta-
switch
you
or
gotta
the
hit
thing? This is this the light or the?
No, it's a fan. One more time. There you go. A lot quieter now, huh?
Is it done?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay,
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. So Star Wars news. All right. This is big,
All right.
sort of.
Mhm.
It could be.
Okay. Let
You
us
ready?
in. Let us in on the news, baby.
All right. J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
This like blew up
The
Twitter.
funky Disney dude, I like him. He's awesome.
Sure, not a Disney guy, but
I thought he was a Disney dude.
he just directed their movie. But
I like him though.
all right. Anyways, last night this pretty much broke Twitter. He says in an interview he gave, he says this. Stop peeking. All right,
Okay,
ready?
I'm ready.
Rey's parents are not in episode 7. Wait. So I cannot possibly in this moment tell you who they are. This is all I will say. It is something Rey thinks about too. So,
No.
he dropped that bomb.
Are you serious?
Now, here's what happened. He dropped the bomb last night on Twitter. He didn't tweet it, but he was at an interview. Somebody recorded him, and they put it up, and everybody was freaking out, and they were like, "Well, this confirms that Luke is not Rey's father, right?"
Right.
I mean, if you read that, that means because Luke is in episode 7.
Yeah, but he said he wasn't in episode. What is he in? Is it confirmed that he's in episode 7?
Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at the end of episode 7.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Episode 8. I mean, is it confirmed that
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
in
he's in
episode
episode
8? Okay,
But he's talking about episode 7. He says Rey's parents are not in episode 7.
so that
Force
means-
Awakens. So whoever her parents are, the mystery of her parents, whoever her father or mother is, both of those characters are not in episode 7, The Force Awakens. So throw out your Luke is Rey's father theory, throw out
it.
Han is Rey's father theory, all that out the window. Right?
Yeah, I mean.
But
that's
here's
awful.
what happened about a couple hours after.
I don't like that.
EW, which is a magazine or something, they caught up with him to clarify after the panel.
Yeah.
And he said he was only trying to point out that The Force Awakens builds up the mystery of Rey's parents without resolving it. He says, what I meant was that she doesn't discover them in episode 7, not that they may not already be in her world.
Oh.
So he kind of backtracked and said, well, I didn't really mean that.
Okay.
What I meant was she doesn't discover her.
So
her parents.
there was a reason he had to backtrack, though. You gotta think about it like that.
The way I'm thinking is he slipped up.
Yeah.
He
And
slipped up
said-
bad.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, I got to do this interview with EW.
Yeah.
And be like, no, that's not what I meant. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he says Rey's parents are not in episode 7. And then he just backtracks and like, well, what I meant was Rey doesn't discover her parents in episode 7.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think he slipped up, you know. But you can take it how you want it, but that's how I take it. He slipped up, made a mistake. Disney was like, oh, crap. He just revealed, like, you know.
Yeah.
So I take it as her parents are not in episode 7.
I take it as she hasn't discovered them yet. Like, she doesn't realize that Luke is her dad.
Really?
I think that's I don't know. I just really like that theory that Luke is her father. I think that would be really cool. Like her dad.
So you think her parents are Luke and some other chick, right?
Yeah.
Coming out of
well,
episode
isn't there like
7.
a comic book where like it talks about Luke having kids with some?
Well, what happened was back in the day, that after episode 6 came out and Star Wars was done,
Yeah.
they had a bunch of they call them expanded universe back in the day.
Yeah.
And all those stories, once Disney bought Lucasfilm, they made all of those legendary. So they don't count, like they're called legends now.
Yeah.
So they don't exist because they weren't really officially canon because George Lucas didn't write them all, you know?
Yeah.
So they said, well, we don't want our hands to be tied by what writers back in not 80s and 90s said happened to Luke. So they said none of that exists. We're making new stuff. So anything after Disney bought Lucasfilm, any comic that came out or book, that is canon. But that old stuff doesn't count. So a lot of people who don't know about Star Wars are like, well, that happened in the books, I thought, back in the day. But that's not actually, true. But they could pull from that stuff. Like, they can pull characters and stuff like that. Like, in Rebels, do you watch Rebels?
No.
Star Wars Rebels?
I don't.
Well, in Rebels recently, one of the main Jedis in Rebels got blinded. And they kind of picked that from a video game that came out early 2000s. So they're free to pick things they like from old stuff.
Yeah.
But none of it is actually true until they say it is.
Okay.
So you want to hear my theory?
Yeah.
Here's my theory.
I really do.
Here's my theory on who Rey's parents are. This is a total fan theory. Okay. I don't think they're going to do this, obviously. It's like a fun fan theory. I don't think they're going to do this. But there definitely is a way they could do this and get away with it. I wrote an article back in February about it.
All right. I might have read it.
You know Star Wars Rebels?
Yeah. I know you talked about it.
Yeah. Their main character is Ezra. Have you heard of him or seen him?
I think I've seen him. Yeah, like whenever like it's first starting out, I saw like the very beginning little thing for it. I don't even know what it's called. It was like a preview, but
Like a
it was
trailer
like
kind of
half a
thing?
show. It was kind of like half a show. It was like a preview of the show. Like what it's
Okay.
gonna be like.
So you've seen him though. A lot of people don't know who he is because they don't watch the show.
Yeah.
But the way I pitch my theory, nobody has to know who this guy is. Like anybody who sees the next Star Wars movie, nobody has to know who he is. But this is how I see it. Okay, Ezra is her father. Yeah, Ezra is her father. This is why I say this.
When is Rebels based?
Ezra was born the same day as Luke Skywalker, on what they call Empire Day, which is the day that in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, when they gave the Order 66 to kill all the Jedi, that day is called Empire Day. Because it's like the start of the Empire, because they killed all the Jedi.
Yeah.
So they're both born on that day. Luke, Leia, and Ezra was also born on that day, right? So they're the same age as Luke. Ezra is.
Okay.
He lives on this planet called Lothal, which you don't have to know about. It's just a planet. He had parents who helped start the rebellion, but died. So he's like an orphan almost.
Okay.
He gets picked up by Kanan, a Jedi, and he goes off on adventures with them. Right now, we're in season 2. Season 2 just ended. We don't know what his fate is, like if he's going to die, if he's going to live and just kind of step away from the Jedi Order, or whatever, because he's a Jedi, sort of. He's sort of a Jedi.
He's a Jedi. Did he get trained?
He's being trained by Kanan,
Okay.
who was the Jedi.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but because Kanan,
So he has like force powers and stuff.
oh yeah, definitely, he's very strong in the Force. Very.
The Ezra. Dude?
Ezra, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to get too complicated here, but Kanan, his master in the show, was around during Order 66.
Okay.
Remember Order 66 when they killed all the Jedi in Episode 3, right?
Okay.
So he was around then, but he didn't complete his training back in the day because Order 66 happened. Most of the Jedi, almost all of them, died.
Okay. Was he one of those little kids that freaking Anakin?
Yeah, he was.
murdered?
Well, no,
not
he
the
wasn't
one they
there,
murdered,
but he was like around that age.
Yeah.
Maybe a little older. I think.
So he wasn't around the temple.
See, they explore it in the comic, but I don't read every comic. I'm waiting for them to come out with like all of the Kanan has his own comic, and each issue is like $5. So I was waiting for them to come out with all of them. I think they just ended his comic series. Anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
It's cool.
So here's my pitch.
All right.
Ezra. We don't know what's gonna happen with Ezra, but right now on the show, he's like being tempted by the dark side, like a lot. Like he's shown like a lot of hints at being like dark side,
Yeah.
So my pitch is that he grows up a little bit, the rebellion starts, Kanan dies, right? He is not.
Was it like he died in Order 66? That's not confirmed yet.
Who? Kanan?
Yeah.
No, he's alive.
Okay, I just wonder if that was like
See,
a comic thing.
Kanan's in Rebels right now.
Okay, I got
with
you.
Ezra. But now what I'm about to say
Okay.
is what I'm making up on my own. It's not actually what happened.
All right.
So don't take this as
I got you.
yeah. I don't want to confuse anybody. This is my theory.
Okay.
Or at least how they could do it if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So Kanan dies.
Okay.
And there's also a crew of rebels that he travels with that are on the ship.
Yeah.
And they don't matter. They can all die. I don't care. It's
Okay.
fine. Or they can go their separate ways, whatever.
All right.
So Kanan dies. Ezra's like, well, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't have a master anymore. So he kind of just leaves the rebellion, right? And he just kind of lays low and goes back to his Lothal or whatever, lives his life, does his thing, right? So episode 4 happens, then episode 5, episode 6 happens, and what he's been hearing that this Jedi killed Darth Vader, who Ezra has met in Rebels, in the show Rebels.
Okay.
He's fought him and been destroyed by him.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he knows who Darth Vader is.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is Ezra, after episode 6, he hears that a Jedi destroyed the Darth Vader and the Emperor. And so he's like, wow, well, I gotta find this guy because before then I thought that all the Jedis were dead. Okay, pause. What just happened?
The Celtics are leading the Hawks. Isaiah Thomas has 40.
Celtics are winning?
Yeah, this is big. Okay.
How much time's left?
It's on ESPN. I'm trying to see real quick.
Let me finish my theory.
Alright.
Your stupid Celtics interrupted.
The Celtics are the best freaking team.
So they're winning. There's your update. All of the listeners who could care less because this is in the future.
Okay.
So they know what happens. They know that Celtics lost. Right?
Celtics came back miraculously against the Hawks. Wins the game.
Anyways, I don't remember where I was, but let's just start where Ezra is old. He hears that a Jedi killed Darth Vader and killed the Emperor, took down the Empire, basically. So he goes and seeks out Luke, right?
Yeah.
So what happens after episode 6 with Luke? Luke probably starts a school for Jedi or a Jedi Academy or goes back to the temple and trains Jedi.
Yeah, wasn't that hinted at in 7?
Yeah, it was kind of hinted at.
Yeah.
And so what happens is Ezra starts training with Luke again and also training younger Jedi, potential Jedi, right? So fast forward, he's grown up. Ezra probably found a chick.
Okay.
They had a kid named Rey, right? So what happens is Kylo Ren comes in. This is way down the future, so a lot of stuff could go.
Yeah.
A lot of stories could happen this time, but I'm just fast forwarding. Ezra and Luke are training Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren goes dark side. He gets manipulated by Snoke, the big dude from episode 7, the big tall dude. Right. So what happens is when Kylo Ren comes and attacks the Jedi Temple or the School of Jedi or whatever, right? Ezra sees that they're gonna fall. They're gonna all die. So what does he do? He takes his little girl, Rey, 5-year-old, protects her, hands her to Luke, and says, "You're the better Jedi. You need to be kept alive.
Okay.
Take my daughter, protect her, do whatever, put her on a planet." So Ezra dies. So he's dead at this point.
Okay.
So Luke goes off, drops off Rey somewhere. I'm kind of fast forwarding through a lot of my stuff. So what happens is when we fast forward to episode 8, when Rey goes up and meets Luke, hands him the lightsaber. You remember last scene of Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Right. So Luke knows who she is, right? I would assume from that last look, it's like, I know who you are. I saw like my whole school die.
Yeah.
I really don't want to pick up this lightsaber and do this all over again. That's kind of the look I got from him,
But does he? I forget. Did he pick it up?
He's staring at her and she's staring at him. That's how the movie ends.
I hated that so bad. I hated it.
It could have been better.
Well,
much better.
I think that it was perfect because it makes you want to go see the next one. But
right. Yeah.
I still hated it because it's like
But they're picking up episode 8. They're picking up where they left off.
Right there.
Right there. They refilmed that scene. for episode 8.
Okay.
Okay, that's tangent.
All right.
So, anyways, here's what they could do in episode 8 to explain to regular people who have no clue who Ezra is.
Yeah.
All they have to say is Luke have a conversation with Rey and say, hey, I knew your father. He died protecting you. He actually started the rebellion, which is now the Resistance. He was a Jedi. Maybe even here's his lightsaber. And Rey gets a new lightsaber for episode 8. So, and he could say, yeah, your father was named Ezra Bridger. He died protecting you. People like me would go crazy. Ezra Bridger.
It's a tongue twister.
Right. Ezra Bridger was her father. I'd sit in the theater. I'd be like, "Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They did that, you know."
Well, no, it would be cool.
But like who don't, or somebody else, like some old guy who just likes Star Wars, it would be like that name means nothing to me. But he's dead, so it doesn't matter. We're not gonna see him, you know.
Yeah.
So
like, what would be cool is if, like that sounds like it's connecting with the movie, like the
right.
TV
That's
show
the way they could connect it without
so
confusing people.
Yeah. So what would be awesome is like, you know what that's similar to is like, do you watch Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No.
You never watched that? Have you seen the Avengers?
Yeah.
Okay, so like Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's like these S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, you know.
I know what it is.
It's all about them. But
right.
like, they say things in the show that you'd see in the movie. Like, you know, like they say, oh, they blew up like half of New York. Or they're talking about the Avengers 1, wherever they go and destroy the city, you know, and all that stuff, you know, like all the aliens. It could connect like that, and it's cool little things. You get like little hints from the show.
People who know what's going on, they know. But if you don't know, it's just like, oh, that means nothing to me. I don't really need to know that.
And Captain America's like the biggest thing when it comes to the little hints, because Captain America's huge, but that's something different.
Right. Yeah. So
Star Wars,
I think it would be cool if they made Ezra her dad, because right now Rebels, like, it's good, but nothing's connecting. Like, it's useless basically right now.
Yeah.
You know, they throw in like Princess Leia, but she doesn't really do anything important, and then she leaves the show. She's in for like an episode. They throw in Lando for an episode, but it's like useless right now. But if they connected it that way, I think it would be really cool. Plus, there's going to be stopping season 3, 4, 5, so it's not like the show's going to be going on forever. They got to end sometime, you know?
Yeah, and my thing is like, I want Finn to be connected to somebody, because I know Rey's going to be connected to somebody, you know? But I want Finn to be somebody like historic, like that was great, you know? Like,
I don't want that at all.
Why not?
Because, I mean, his story is cool because he was a stormtrooper, and he was like, I ain't about this, and he left. We've never seen, like, a stormtrooper just be like, this isn't for me anymore.
Yeah, I can see that, but, like, still. Like,
I don't, because if they just connect every single thing, and this guy was this guy's grandfather, and, you know.
You don't want him to be Lando's son at all.
No, I hate that. If they do that, I will be very upset. Very, beyond upset. That's just like, can't you find another black dude in the galaxy to tie him to?
Yeah.
If it's some other black dude and we see his dad and it's like, oh, cool.
So you just want his story to be left alone, like, so we can just follow his story.
Or if you have to connect him to somebody, make up a new character that is his dad or grandfather or whatever. Just make up a new character and give him a spin-off movie or something.
I have a question, too, about Star Wars.
What?
It's episode 7. The very beginning.
Yeah.
Who was that guy? It was Poe. And he goes in there with, what's the, BB-8?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so he goes in there, and the dude he was handing the thing to, I guess it was a key or something like that, yeah. What was his name, the older guy?
Lor San Tekka.
You knew that?
I knew that. Yeah.
Okay, who is he?
Nobody knows.
You just know
he's some old guy who apparently has history with, he knows of the Jedi, and he knows of Princess Leia. And he's, they mention in some side book or something that he's part of the Church of the Force, they call it. People who aren't Jedis, but they believe that the Jedis need to come back, like, because at that point, there's no Jedi. Like, Luke is gone off.
Yeah.
They believe that the Jedi are essential to keep the balance. So, nice socks. Those lightsaber socks.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
And the other one's green. It's got Luke's hand on it.
That is pretty cool.
That's all.
So anyways, he's just I think they'll probably put him in a book or a comic book or
Mm-hmm.
TV show or something. Because I mean, I really like that. I like that guy.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people before the movie came out thought he was gonna be Boba Fett.
He just got killed.
That was the
immediately.
huge rumor that he was gonna be Boba Fett, an old Boba Fett, or somebody who found Boba Fett's armor.
Mm-hmm.
But that was definitely false. False rumors.
Well, people are just trying to connect stuff.
I know.
You know.
It's stupid. Even though I just tried to do it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But the only reason I say that I would like that is because Rey has to be connected. It's, you know.
So you want
everybody
Rey to
knows.
be connected, but not Finn.
No, I'm saying Rey, we already know she has to be connected to somebody.
If
But-
she like the way the story was set up,
Yeah.
if she, you know, you didn't get any hints at Rey being connected to anybody, would you want her to be connected?
No.
No?
Mm-hmm.
Same way with Finn? You
Yeah.
think?
Well, just tell me her parents are dead. Or show her parents dying in a flashback or a novel or a book.
See,
That's what I want.
I'm different. I just want to see, I want to see her
I like her character.
be
I
related to Luke somehow. Not
I
like
don't like that at all.
family, but
I
just
hate that.
like somehow relevant to Luke.
It'll probably be either Luke or an unknown guy.
It could be Leia. She's relative to, you know, or
Well, I guess.
I mean, not like
But-
kin to, but like
if it's Leia, then Leia's a terrible mom because she just sat there and hugged her daughter, and
oh
Didn't it
yeah,
say-
yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not Leia. Dang, I'm trying to think.
but there's this
The one your theory makes sense though about
makes
the whole.
sense.
Yeah, I can see
nobody.
it
I
definitely
never
working.
see anybody talk about it online. It could happen.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Checking the score again? You gotta be kidding me. You're ruining the podcast right now.
I haven't.
You're ruining it.
I'm not really.
Up and it's broken up. The pass. Are you kidding? Wow, that would have actually counted. He got possession
Wow.
and hoisted it in time. It would have counted had it gone. Wow.
Jerk.
All right.
Good job, Isaiah. I'm still proud of you. Okay,
Just
let's
gotta
get
turn
back
this
at
thing.
it.
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we paused to watch your stupid Celtics lose.
They lost by a point,
Okay.
and it was big.
All right. So we finished JJ's comments on Ray's parents.
Okay, what's the next comment?
Next topic. This will be a quick one, so we'll slide right by it. This guy is now the front runner, rumored to be the front runner for the Young Han Solo spin-off movie. Now, do you know anything about this movie?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Did you know they're making it?
I really didn't.
So you don't know?
Mm-mm.
So they're making a young Han Solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like just him. He's like the main character of the movie.
Okay, okay.
And it's
Who
gonna
are they
be-
going to use for the actor of that?
That's what they auditioned like everybody possible.
Yeah.
They haven't decided yet. So the rumor is this new guy is the front runner. So he's like who they're on the top of their list
Mm-hmm.
right now. His name is Alden Ehrenreich. I've
Does
heard
he
of him.
look like Harrison Ford?
Not too much, but
Well,
he.
how
Let me
are
show
you
you a
gonna-
picture. He kind of. I mean,
How are you going to have a not Harrison Ford
right.
youngin? You know, I don't know if you can do that.
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't have to look exactly like him because nobody does. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is you're doing a Han Solo movie. He's got to look like like an Indiana Jones when he first did his first movie or something. I think. Wait, no, Star Wars.
He
was it.
kinda-
My bad.
A young Han Solo. I could see them getting by with that. Right. Do you
Look at here. I'll look up a picture of Harrison Ford and put him side by side. Keep him on there. I don't know though, cause it's like, to me,
This guy was the only movie I know that he's been in is this new movie called Hail Caesar. Have you heard of it?
yeah, it sounds familiar.
It just came out last year or early this year. But a lot of people I've heard said that he was the best part of that movie, that he was really good in it. So apparently he's a pretty good actor. Now, you just got to get... I mean, this picture makes me think that he could pull it off. I mean, he looks similar
Okay,
to...
here's like a younger Harrison Ford.
Yeah, hold that up. Nobody can hear this, but
Or see it, you mean?
yeah, see it. They could get away with it, I think.
And it's black and white too, so.
I mean, change the hair a little bit, add a little bit of makeup. you know. Look, they could get away with it. The looks isn't.
Well, it's Hollywood too, so they're gonna make it look.
Yeah, it's happening. You know, whether we like it or not, I'm still excited for the movie. But that's the one movie I was scared of, like Rogue One, the trailer we watched last week. Remember that? Rogue One.
Yep.
I wasn't worried about that just because of the timeline and like the story behind it. But this is like it's just about young Han Solo, so it's like.
Well, Rogue One, they're making everybody look good. You know, really, really good. And they didn't really have to do a lot of work. The only one I would worry about is who was the
Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma?
Right.
Yeah, the only one that I would worry about. She looked great. So.
Yeah, she looks pretty much identical.
So if they can, it's a different actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they can make that dude or that chick look like that, you know,
They can make him look like
make that
Han
dude
Solo
look,
or Harrison Ford. Yeah. So obviously we haven't seen the movies he's been in, so I don't really know if he can act. But from like I said, from what I've heard, everybody says he's the best part of that movie, Hell Caesar.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but maybe I'll get around to it. But that was it. That's it for the news. But also with the casting for Han Solo, there's been like other guys. There's been a short list of like people you may not have heard of.
Okay. See, like I look up whenever I'm talking about like looking up for actors and stuff like that. Like I do all this research and stuff like you do for Star Wars. I'll do it for like superheroes and like the Spider-Man,
DC and Marvel.
Specifically Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was a big. Nobody knew who he was gonna be for the longest time.
Well, Spider-Man's my favorite, so I always look up him.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody says he's really good in the Civil War movie.
Spider-Man. Yeah, Spidey looks really like I like his costume kind of.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people loved it. I thought it was pretty good, but I wish they'd use. You know, I like it when they just stick to straight comic book because I love the old comic books. But you know, it looked good, fine to me. I liked it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the voice like of him being a little kid, love it because
Yeah,
I
I
want
like it
him
a
to
lot.
be young.
Yeah. So that's it for the Star Wars news.
Yeah.
We can move on to sports if you want to take over.
All right, I got
Go
it.
for it. What's the topics? What's the big
Okay.
news that broke this week that I need to know about?
Well,
Give me two.
other than my Celtics just now losing.
Yeah. Besides that,
I had a little fit on the floor.
You
It's
did.
okay.
it's all right.
First off,
The
college. Okay.
college.
So college.
Mhm.
You know, I repeat everything I say.
I'm trying to follow
Okay.
you. You're giving me random words. I don't. Form a sentence.
Okay. Okay. College football. That's what I'm on today, and it's the top 25 specifically teams. So this is like the way too early stuff. You can't really, it's the way too early college football ranking. So if you don't know what that is, it's a little thing that I think it's Sports Center does it. Specific people will write them, but you'll have a list of way too early teams that you think would be, you know, like the top 25 best teams in the nation.
Right.
And so the first team is Clemson, even though they lost to Alabama in the national title
So
game.
recap.
So
Because I didn't watch recap. Who won the national title? Who is like the Heisman? Because those are two big things of college, right?
Bama won the national title.
I'm talking about football, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Bama won the national title,
That's right. I knew that.
and I'm really hoping I'm right on this.
Uh-huh.
Deshaun Watson, I believe, won the Heisman.
It doesn't really matter, right?
It's a big deal, but it kind of is a big deal.
Was
I
he
look
on?
up-
Was he played for Alabama?
No,
Okay.
he played for Clemson.
Okay.
So Clemson and
So let me get this straight. The season is over back in like January, December, correct?
oh, I'm sorry, Derrick Henry won it.
Derrick Henry.
Okay, yeah,
Still means nothing to me. So the season.
He's Alabama.
Oh,
He's a junior.
so the guy from Alabama won,
Okay,
and
yeah.
they won the title.
Yeah, yeah,
So the season's over in December, January, right?
yeah.
And now this poll is basically like, before the season starts, these are the rankings
Mhm.
or recommended rankings because people move on to the pros, and they get new people, so stuff might change throughout the summer. I mean, why don't they just stick with the polls from the end of the season? They don't do that.
So,
Like if Alabama won, shouldn't they just be number one going into the next season?
well, it's about
Is it because they might lose people going to the pros?
reason. It's a big deal of who you got over the break period between, because they don't play that many games. College only plays, I think, 12 games, but that's not counting the post season and all that, But after that postseason, there's a lot of dead period for football. It's not like NBA where there's like just not as much time. You don't play like a ton of games.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a pretty short season, honestly. But Bama is too, because they are keeping. They still are going to have a great recruiting class. There's going to be great kids coming in and everything, but they haven't. But obviously, I guess Clemson kept way more of their players, and it says, and Deshaun Watson is staying in Clemson, which is their quarterback. He's really good. He's probably the best quarterback in the college football right now. So Clemson is from the ACC, which is awesome. Alabama,
Because of Louisville.
yeah. It makes
Biased.
Louisville look it makes us look good. But Clemson's number 1, Bama's number 2 in their SEC. You got Oklahoma from the Big 12 repping at number 3. Florida State from the ACC. And then you got Michigan from the Big 10.
Were we on 5?
Yeah, that was 5.
Are you going through all 25?
Heck yeah,
Are
because
you kidding me?
well, it's because Louisvle's towards the bottom. I want to get through.
Okay, just go to where Louisville is.
Okay.
21. So we're on 21. Who's 21? Louisville?
The Louisville Cardinals.
Okay. I
From Louisville, Kentucky.
figured. That's where we're from.
Repping at number 21, like I said.
So that's good.
ACC. Yeah, I mean, if you're a top 25 school,
Where
the last top 25 school is Arkansas, and they're from the SEC. You got all these SEC teams in there,
Right.
and
Where-
the SEC's.
Where did Louisville finish off? Like where did they stand at the end of last season? Football. Were they ranked?
You're killing me.
Okay,
Yeah,
it
they
doesn't
were.
matter.
They
It
were.
doesn't matter. If
Edit
you don't
that,
know, I don't
edit
care.
that out. I don't want to.
That's fine. I won't ask.
What I think about this is that, like, the team this year, I hate there's a college football playoff. Do you know about that? Where, like, they changed it from
Yeah,
the
they
past
changed it.
couple years.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it to where, it's 4 teams and they actually play. I wish they did it to where it was a bigger bracket.
Right.
Like, where they're talking about doing 8 teams.
Kind of like the basketball March Madness.
Yeah,
stuff,
but
bigger.
you can't. The
So
only setback with that is that football, it's the reason there's less games and the season's shorter. It's because football is, like, way more toll on your body. Like,
Right.
you're going
It's
to
more
have
contact.
way more contact, way more injuries. You can't go as long.
That makes sense.
So, like, if you have 8 teams, there's going to be more games, obviously. So, I mean, it would be a scrappy fight for that 8 teams, because right now it's got, like, if everything stayed the exact same, Baylor would be the ones that would have that be in the playoff if it was the 8-team thing. So, I really, really like I like Baylor somewhat. I like Clemson. I love watching Clemson because, like, but I don't think that anyone. The only thing that frustrates me about Alabama is that I feel like the SEC gets all this credit because they have all these teams that are really, really good in football. But, like, they get all this credit for being, like, they get on TV all the time. All SEC teams are always on for football. You don't really see as many. Even if there's way more conferences here. It's not just the SEC, but they're the ones that get a lot of credit for it. So, like, the ACC has 4 teams ranked here in the top 25. So, if we were to, if there was the ACC, I think it's the next team to have the most, but yeah. So I really like the ACC, the SEC in football. For winning Heisman trophies and championships and all that, because your Florida States and Alabama's, that's where it's at. It's all about the southern states, most likely, are going to do really well because there's more sun. Think about it, because you can be outside more. You can use the outdoor facilities and all that stuff. You don't have to always be inside. And
Sure.
it's a really big deal that you're outside for football, because that's the environment you're going to be playing in, so, and that's why TCU, I believe, has done so well.
Now, Louisville doesn't have an excuse because they have an indoor training. They have an indoor stadium.
Well, yeah,
Or-
all these top 25 schools, they all got
so
one too.
the sun really doesn't matter. It's just like an excuse you use.
Okay.
See, I see right past you.
Okay, well,
It's fine. You don't.
yes and no, it does.
I understand.
Okay. Anywho, so what do you think about these top 25 teams?
They don't mean nothing to me, but that's big news. Sure.
The way too early rankings. It's
So
just
these aren't official, right?
yeah. This is just the way too early rankings.
That's what they're called. I thought you were just saying it's way
No.
too early.
It's literally the way too early rankings.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering why you kept saying that. I was like, why are you calling it way too early?
Yeah,
So that's like their name for okay.
yeah. Because it's not the
Well,
official stuff.
They're not official, so are they? You think the official is going to be pretty close to that though?
They're
They're
it'll
usually
be
pretty
similar.
close.
It'll be
At
similar.
least like the top
yeah,
5 are going to be pretty close.
yeah. I'd say.
Yeah, that's cool. Glad Louisville made it on. Sure. All right, what's next?
Okay.
Give me the next topic.
NBA draft, which I can kind of go into more detail
NBA
about.
draft, is that what we're going with? Remember, you get 2.
My bad. I'm so sorry. I said the NBA draft.
That's next week. We'll do that next week.
My bad. I'm surprised I said that. Okay. The Kobe Bryant situation,
Kobe Bryant.
which you
I tweeted about the other day.
tweeted about it, and you kind of called me out on it, and you're like, "We're gonna talk about it." So,
Yeah.
what do you think about it? First off, so like, how do you even know about Kobe Bryant? Okay,
Okay.
that's not like a bash. I'm
Kobe
just
Bryant,
asking.
I guess it's just in the culture. I just have heard his name.
Just
But
Kobe.
I don't know. I knew him.
Yeah.
I knew his name. Kind of like everybody just knows LeBron James' name nowadays.
Well, he has
I don't care about who.
5 rings.
Right, I don't
Kobe
care about
does.
that.
He never got that 6th one, which is Jordan.
Now look, the other day I was on Twitter.
Mhm.
I guess he retired,
He's a
correct?
well. He hasn't
Didn't he
had
play
his
his last
official
game?
retirement thing.
But
like-
didn't he play his last game or something?
Yeah, he did play his last game. So his last game is when, like, it was on Snapchat, Kobe's last game, and all
Okay.
kind of stuff. Like, if you scrolled over it, you know.
Right.
But, anyways, it like you were watching the game, and there were all kinds of people that was watching it just because it was Kobe's last game, and everybody, there's people that are huge fans of Kobe,
Mhm.
people that just aren't.
Bless you. Bless you. So this is what happened to me on Twitter.
Okay.
I was scrolling. I told you this. I mentioned it a little bit. I was scrolling through Twitter, and I saw like 10 tweets in a row talking about Kobe Bryant, and I was like, "What are they?" I thought he died. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, he's basketball." I didn't know how'd he die. This is big news. And then I was like, "Congratulations on your however many points on your last game." And I was like, "Wait, did he retire or did he die?" And now they're looking back on his last game. And then I was like, I kept scrolling. I was like, "Nah, I think he just retired. I don't think he's dead."
Yeah, he's no, not.
So I tweeted. I was like, "Yeah, Rob, we're gonna have to talk about this because
Yeah,
it seems like it's big news. It's on my Twitter. I don't ever see anything
yeah.
sports related on my Twitter because it's all Star Wars stuff, right?
Missing
So
out.
it must be big."
And mine's like all ESPN and all that. ESPN, sports.
We have different timelines for sure.
Yeah. I have some Star Wars stuff, I think. I follow ours.
Nice, that's good.
Yeah. It's mostly you just saying things
Tweeting.
about Star Wars.
I know.
Okay. But, yeah,
So Kobe Bryant, how many points did he score? Like 50 or 60?
60 points, I think.
That's good, right? That's a lot, right?
That's a lot of points, yeah.
Usually it's like in the 10s or 20s for an average person, right? I would assume.
Like, well, I mean, that's even a high score.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I mean, if you're
I
scoring...
mean, I'm talking like the best player on your team.
If you're just kind of like an average player, but you're still starting, you might get like 15 points if you're a guard.
So he went.
If
he
you're a
went
guard.
all the way
Yeah,
to 60. He went out with a
Yeah.
bang.
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. I guess that's why everybody's tweeting about him.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if he would have scored like 5 points on his last game. How embarrassing would that be?
I
Right?
don't even know. That
No.
just mean he is old. He is really old. I mean,
But he's good. You're not a fan of Kobe Bryant?
No.
Really?
You seen that commercial where it's
No.
like?
Do you think I've seen the
you missed
commercial?
it out.
They only show it on ESPN, I'm guessing. I don't watch ESPN.
And then they might have shown it somewhere else. I don't know. But yeah, it's basically it's a Nike commercial, and it's got like there's all kinds of people that like hate Kobe,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but like it has them basically like putting it to a song like how they hate Kobe or something. But it's kind of funny, but he's going out. It's him going out of the arena, kind of like saying I'm retiring with a bang or whatever. 60 points. So I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't.
He's good, even though you don't.
I
like
don't
him, he's
like
good.
him because.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you say that?
Yeah, I'll say that.
Don't seem biased.
I'll say that. I'll say he's good, but
He's one of the best.
I don't. The only reason I don't like him, well, I have two reasons. Because of his attitude and just whenever I've watched him. So I haven't watched him that much because I don't enjoy watching him. But his attitude and because he's a Laker. I'm a Celtics fan. So that's how it is.
Sniff a little biased opinion
Stop.
there.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
I mean, okay.
That's the only reason. Do you know about the Lakers and Celtics?
No, do you think I care? I don't know. They're rivals, I guess.
Dude. Like, okay.
Sounds like Star Wars and Star Trek.
It goes way back. Star Wars and Star Trek. Is there history there?
I don't know.
You just don't
People
like.
make it.
Do you not like Star Trek?
I don't not like it. I just never watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
So it's not like I hate it for being similar to Star Wars.
Who came first?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you that.
Dang.
Probably Star Trek. Probably their old TV shows.
Yeah. I'd say.
I don't know. I should probably look this up before somebody's screaming at me like, "You idiot!" No,
What if it was
Star Wars came first.
You're a big. You claim to be the biggest Star Wars fan.
If I was
ever.
also a Star Trek fan, I would know this, but I'm not. So I know when Star Wars happened.
I cannot believe you claim to be a Star Wars fan, but
What?
you don't know who was first.
Okay, let's wait until we get to the email questions because I'm gonna shoot that
No,
right back.
No, you can't. We're gonna avoid the email questions today. They always come back at me.
Okay, Star Trek did come first, and it looks like it'll last longer. I just googled which came first, Star Wars or Star Trek. Somebody said Star Trek came first, and it looks like it'll last longer.
So you were kind
Which
of
is-
right.
Totally false. Nowadays, Star Trek movies nobody really goes to see as much as Star Wars movies.
Oh no, wait.
But anyways, Kobe Bryant. Back to him. Go ahead.
Okay.
Say what you need to say. We're moving on because I'm tired.
Kobe.
I gotta wake up early tomorrow.
Kobe.
Mhm.
Number 1, he was a great player. Number 2, a lot of people loved him. A lot of people hated him. Number 3, I'm not a fan. Neither should you be. Just kidding. If you like Kobe, like Kobe.
cool.
I don't care. And number 4, I really, really
Mhm.
think that the Lakers are going to struggle in the future without Kobe because Kobe
so.
was the heart and soul of that team. Unless D'Angelo Russell makes like a major difference or they get some really good draft picks, then it's going to be bad.
So it'll be a couple years till they're back on their feet. You think?
They were never on their feet. Like
Oh.
they haven't been on their feet for a while. Like this was a bad season for them too.
Really?
Even with Kobe, because Kobe's old. He's been old, so you know that it's just this was one of their worst seasons, just like the years before. You know, so he was good. They were good when he was younger, but
Yeah.
so they're not that great.
All right. Enough of that, right?
Yep.
Let's move on. What's next? Email questions or Twitter questions if you want to tweet us, right? You can tweet us. Our Twitter is Force Sports Pod. At Force Sports Pod if you want to tweet us. We have a question
Let's get it.
from I believe Kyle from the Tumbling Saber podcast.
Nice. The tumbling saber.
Tumbling. It's a hard thing to say. Tumbling
Saber.
Tumbling Saber.
We got an email question from a podcast.
Yeah, actually there's a tweet, but it's fine. He says, who you got for the AL and NL pennant? Now, to me, I tweeted back to him, and I said, I assume that's a sports reference, so Rob will definitely be teaching me this strange phrase, because I had no clue what that meant. Pennant. So, Rob, you're Googling. You're not paying attention.
Because I wanted to answer your question about the ALMPL pennant. My dad would be great. My dad.
Yeah,
Just
your
great.
dad loves baseball.
Well, he doesn't love it, but I mean, he'll sit there and watch it. Logan would be great.
Yeah.
Another example. People don't know who that is. You can edit those out.
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. But, yeah, I mean, so I'm not big on baseball. I know how to play it. I've watched it. I've lived it.
You play
Yeah.
at your high school.
Yeah.
You just also like basketball and football just a lot better.
I enjoy watching basketball way better. I enjoy watching football better. Tons of people love the MLB. Tons of people love college baseball.
Mm.
I love college baseball. I like going to Louisville's games. So I'm more into the college baseball stuff. But, even there, I'm not great. I can tell you, I can talk a little bit of Louisville baseball, but not a ton. So, yeah, I know Louisville's I think they might be number one. They were number one for a while in baseball this year. But, yeah, I don't know that much about baseball, honestly. So, I couldn't answer that question with
Complete honesty.
Yeah,
We're
I would
not gonna
say
sit here and
something
lie.
about I would probably say something about the Yankees or something
Yeah.
because I just know
Yeah.
that they're really good
Yeah.
most of the time.
A train, dude. We live right by a train track. Have you been here when a train comes by?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It shakes. Let's see if it shakes something in here. It usually shakes things. It shook for a second. It shakes things in that room a lot more. Our bedroom, because it's closer to the window. But it's gone now, so. Anyways, so we can't really answer his question, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's fine. We don't have to know everything about every sport.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
So maybe one week we'll, have him on as a guest and we can talk hockey and baseball. What do you think?
I prefer NFL questions or NBA or
Football and basketball in general.
or college basketball. Just
Mhm.
if you ask me anything about football and basketball, college or pro, I got you. If you ask me anything,
Baseball, hockey,
baseball, yeah, like
soccer.
ho-
Now, I like playing hockey on my Xbox
yeah.
because I can hit
Josiah
people.
can maybe tell you something about.
I know how to hit people on the game. If you
Yeah.
want to ask me about which stick, right stick, that's how I
Yeah,
hit people.
I
on the
wouldn't
game.
be doing the hockey, baseball,
Yeah.
soccer community justice.
And this guy actually lives in Canada.
So he's probably a hockey fan. I
Yeah,
know a lot
they're
of
big on
Canadians
hockey.
like hockey and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
he's big on hockey. He actually tweeted, I think, a week ago and said, if y'all ever want to talk about hockey or need somebody to talk about hockey, he'll come on as a guest. So maybe we'll have him on, call in. It'd be
There
cool,
you go.
wouldn't it?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so go follow him. He's at Tumbling Saber.
I
He
would
has
love
a podcast. They talk about Star
Yeah.
Wars, and they always go off on sports tangents,
Yeah.
which I'm like, I don't know.
What
anything
do they
about this.
usually talk about?
Like hockey is a big thing.
Yeah.
They talk about everything.
I have somebody that can maybe answer your hockey questions.
Yeah.
My friend Trevor. But yeah, if you ever, I have a friend and he might be able to answer some. He's a big, I think, black something fan. Black Hawks, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go listen to their podcast if you like Star Wars and also sports because they go off on sports tangents sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, thanks for the tweet.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry we couldn't
Again,
answer correctly, but
I think the last one we kind of went off on a tangent.
last
on.
one was too
Last
bad.
one was good. We had a good one.
yeah, Johnny Grosso.
Johnny Grosso.
We're gonna say
Sounds
his
like-
name. We're gonna say his name every podcast.
Yeah, just to be famous.
Yeah, no.
Sound like a Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo. Yeah,
Johnny Bravo.
kind of looks like Johnny Bravo.
Hey, does he?
No.
He's got yellow hair and buff.
No, not really. Well, he's got blonde hair.
You're not buff. You heard it from Josiah. That's what he said.
No, he's buff.
Oh, you're buff. Never mind, you're buff. He has a
All right.
man crush on you.
Last topic. Last thing.
Okay.
Every week we do random topic of the week. Whatever we want to talk about for.
This is going to be my favorite
remainder.
segment this
So,
week.
Before we get into this is going to be our last topic. So we're going to talk about Walking Dead season 6 finale.
Yes.
So if you have not seen the season 6 finale, just go ahead and turn off the podcast because that's it for the podcast. We're done after this.
Yes.
So you can just shut it off if you don't want to know. And we might even delve a little bit into the comics. You know, we don't read them.
Yeah.
But this is a very...
Like,
I'm not-
you would go and study the comics just for this.
This is the one
Yeah.
thing about the comics I do know. What happens in the... Because this is big iconic moment in the comics.
Yeah. I got
in
you.
the comics.
I got you.
Yeah. So if you have not seen it, just shut it off. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
I mean, but
Follow us on Twitter.
yeah. You got it.
Yeah, so let's get into it. This is gonna be the last topic. It is kind of late, but we're gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm tired. I gotta wake up tomorrow.
Let's do it.
But let's do it. All right, Rob, you liked the season 6 finale of The Walking Dead. I hated it. I despise this episode so
How?
much.
And there's a lot of people like that though. But I loved it. I loved the setup, the execution of it. I thought the production was great. I think them running into the roadblocks, I loved that.
They did it 5 times.
Because they did it 5 times. That's why I loved it. It for me, it built up like the drama of the episode, the nervousness.
Three roadblocks would have been fine.
And Rick was like, "Are you serious?"
Okay,
Almost,
for people who don't care about spoilers and haven't seen the episode, this is basically what's going on. One of the characters, Maggie, is having pregnancy issues.
Yeah,
something. I don't know if
her baby might have died or something.
You know? So they have to get her to another,
like, I don't know,
what are they called?
Town or something.
Settlement.
Yeah, something like that.
They have to travel to another settlement.
We found out that there's different settlements from the Jesus.
So earlier in the season, they found a settlement, and it just so happened that one of the guys in the settlement is a baby doctor kind of person. Like, I don't know exactly what he does. He didn't say, but he said, like, I'll deliver your baby. That's what I used to do.
Yeah, like, he's valued.
They didn't really say, like, anything more. They're just like, yeah, come over here when you have your baby, and I'll do it for you.
It's crazy. Basically. Like, if you in the previous world before the apocalypse were a doctor or a policeman, if you're a doctor,
more a doctor
or a cop, like, you know about guns, you're like essential.
You already got
like a survivalist kind of guy, you know, like a cop survivalist kind of dude. You know, like you know what you're doing. Yeah.
So what happens in this episode is basically they have to go to this other town to rush her to the doctor because their doctor just died, but she couldn't have done anything anyway. She was stupid. So they have to get to this town, and the whole time they're trying to get there, this other settlement, who's like the bad guys, they keep blocking the roads and being like, you can't come this way, you gotta find another way. And it happens 5 times. 5 times in a row. Literally, this is what happens. They drive, they find a roadblock, right?
Oh, man.
They stare the people down, they reverse out of frame, and then it goes to commercial. Next commercial break, they drive up, they do the same thing 5 times. Are you kidding me? I got so annoyed with that. That didn't annoy you? 3 times I would have been like, okay, I get the point.
Were you sitting down in your basement just like, or on your bottom floor just like, really?
I was like, oh, come on.
Dude.
Do something. This is exactly what happened.
You realize that's the most watched show on TV, right?
Yeah, I know that.
It's like,
I don't care if it's the most watched show on TV. It still needs to be good.
It is good. It's great.
It was good.
Are you serious? You're done. Was good. Are you for real done? I want to know. Are you for real done with the...
I don't want to jump ahead, but I'll say this. If they kill Daryl or Glenn, I'll be back on. If they don't kill either of those people, I'm done with the show. I'm honestly done with the show.
No.
Yeah, I'm done. They're taking advantage of their fans who they know they have millions. They're the most watched show on TV, and they're taking advantage of us. Every corner we go... This season it's happened already with Glenn fake dying. Do you remember that?
Oh my god.
Where they fake killed him and then waited 4 episodes even though everybody knew he was alive.
Yeah.
They waited 4 episodes
to tell us that he hid under a dumpster when
it was so stupid. It made no sense. Which I can forgive that once, but if you do that again...
It wasn't stupid to me, because, like, it was still, like, not knowing,
Let's break down what it is before we talk. So people who just don't care about spoilers. So what happens is that there's this big guy named Negan, right?
Yeah. Well, originally you think it's a group of people.
Right.
You know, because, like, I am Negan, the one dude or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, like, where we are Negan or whatever.
But if you paid attention to casting in the comics, you knew that this guy was the actual guy. He was actually cast already. So you know he was coming, but... If you didn't know that, then you're like, who's this guy? Is he a guy or is he a group of people? I don't know, you know. So they run into this guy finally at the end of the episode after 5 roadblocks. They run into him in the middle of the woods. And basically Negan comes out with his bat he names Lucille, wrapped in barbed wire. And he makes them all kneel down. There's how many is there? 10 10 people, 10 characters. I'm not gonna try to list them all because I don't know. But the main characters that you need to know that could die, you got Rick, Carl.
Well, Carl it isn't in the comics.
Yeah, go ahead.
I heard this. Is Carl supposed to Rick was already supposed to die? I've heard that Rick is already.
Look, I don't
supposed
read
to
the
die.
comics, so I can't answer your
And
questions.
I've heard that, well, the way that I've heard it, I don't even know if it's right. That the way the comic books is kind of set it up is Rick was already supposed to die. Daryl's not even in the comics, so they can do whatever the heck they want to do with Daryl.
Right, yeah.
After Rick dies,
Carl's
supposed to take over.
in the comics.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're gonna do that.
but
I don't know anything about the comics, but I know this iconic moment from the comics. I know
Okay.
who dies in the comics.
in the comics,
In
you
the
know, and I've
comics.
heard who dies.
Right, everybody knows, but so let's break
But
down.
I think it would be
Hold
Okay,
your
okay.
horses. Let's break
Go.
down who's in the line. So you got a lineup of, and
Daryl,
somebody
Glenn.
is gonna die.
Yeah.
But what they did that made people mad was they had a line of 10 people all on their knees, right?
yeah.
And he went through with his
Was
back.
everybody important?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he went through and he's like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and it showed him like trying to pick,
Yeah.
because he's like, I can't decide who to kill. So he's like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe. If he hollers, let him pay $50 every day. My mom told me to pick the
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And he finally lands on somebody, and it switches to first person, where like you see the point of view of the person dying.
Yeah.
You don't know who it is. You see the point of view of them looking at the bat, and he hits him like 3 times, and then
And
the
they
screen
hear
goes black. You hear
that kind of
people
sound.
yelling.
like
you
that.
hear
yeah,
bats
like
hitting a bat hitting a head.
Yeah.
People yelling in the background, and then it goes black, and the season's over.
Yeah.
That angered me.
Like the way it was set up, they were shooting different angles, but I thought that they hit Carl,
They didn't. Carl's safe.
but I was like, though you can't kill Carl. You can't. You've already had his eye shot out.
Yeah, you got a shot
can't.
out.
You can't. He's come close. You can't kill him.
So I've seen a couple fan theories online, and they break down in depth like the lineup, and they show where he would end up.
Yeah.
And where he would end up is either on Glenn or Daryl. So it's between those two, from what they say. But they
In the
haven't-
comics, it said it killed Glenn, right?
right in the comics, Glenn dies.
And I don't think you can kill Daryl. There's too much of a following for
They
Daryl.
need to kill Daryl.
I
This is the only way I could see him going out strong.
see. That would be one of the reasons I would have against The Walking Dead. That
If
would
they
be one
don't,
of my.
if they don't kill Daryl here,
Yeah.
when are they gonna kill Daryl? Like, is he
They're
just gonna
not.
get bit by a zombie and die?
You're not.
This
gonna
is like
kill.
Okay, in the comics, this is the most iconic moment because nobody saw it coming because Glenn, who died in the comics, was there from the first issue.
Yeah.
And he was like one of the most beloved characters. He was like almost the equivalent of Daryl on the show.
Yeah, but you're not gonna kill Daryl. Daryl is my favorite character. He has been since the very beginning, and a lot of people like Daryl since the very beginning.
Right.
You know, like I liked Daryl. Like I liked Daryl early on when he kind of started going against Merle and all that. But
He grew a lot. I liked him.
Right.
Season 2 and 3, I really liked him.
and I liked whenever he put the angel wings on,
Hmm.
the jacket and the Harley. You know,
Yeah.
I liked when y'all put that together. It's really nice. But the crossbow too. That was my favorite
Yeah.
part about Daryl probably. But the fact that they can do whatever they want with Daryl is my favorite.
Because he's not tied to the comics.
So, but I
So
think
who would you want to kill? Who would you want him to kill? If it had to be somebody, who would you say you want to die? Not like you hate them, but
there's
like
person who's outlived their value,
right,
which is Eugene.
right. But if they waited a whole summer and then they killed Eugene, like nobody.
He is
he's
a somebody,
funny,
though.
but he's not a main character.
Well, it's not that he's even funny. He is kind of funny, but
he's
like
funny.
the thing about it is like, you know, he's outlived his value.
Yeah.
But I like Eugene too much. I
Who
like
do they
all
have-
those people.
In my point of view, they have to kill a main character.
What if you kill Maggie?
Sure, but are they going to kill a pregnant woman on a TV show and beat her brains in? No, there's no way. They're not going to do that.
They've had Rick eat a dude's neck.
Yeah,
his
but that
teeth.
a dude's neck that didn't have a baby in her stomach.
Like
That's
no,
just,
but they've
I
had,
don't know if they'd go that far. That's brutal.
It's the show is brutal. It literally says
I
before
know,
the
but-
show, like
But
opening
this
thing.
is even more brutal.
It's like this may be too intense, you know, like that
I just
kind of
don't.
thing.
I don't
It's
think
TV mature.
I don't think they'd kill Maggie. I don't think they would. But Who's the one person you want to die? Pick one person. Don't say a bunch of people.
Okay, can you say the lineup again? It went Daryl.
Okay, here's the important
Glenn.
people. Let me break it down.
Abraham's my favorite.
Okay,
or
let me
one of
break-
my favorites. Yeah.
Chill. Let me
Alright.
break it down.
Alright.
You got Rick, Carl. You have Maggie, Glenn, Abraham, Eugene. Rosita is in the
Rosita's-
lineup, but she's not. Nobody cares about her. Michonne. She's a big
Yeah, Michelle.
She's a big
That's another one.
contender of death. Am I missing? People are probably yelling at me. Those are like the main people that you're gonna probably.
That's
kill.
who we can think of right now.
Yeah. So the other people that are there, Aaron. Remember Aaron?
Oh yeah.
Him. That's it. 9.
Yeah.
Sure. 9. Those are the important people that could die. So who do you want to die?
Aaron.
Aaron.
I would want Aaron to die,
But
but
he hasn't been in like but one episode.
who cares? Aaron's like not valuable at all.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything.
I think early on he did a couple things, and
He
that
hasn't
was
been
about
in
it.
it enough this season
He
to justify.
technically, Aaron did do one big thing. He saved the whole group.
Right, but
The mesh of people.
that's like the only episode he's been in this season. He's been like a side character all season. I don't know, but
I just want to. I think this is a big excuse to get rid of somebody, and they're making it all dramatic for no reason.
look,
But-
this is why I hated the episode. Let me get into this.
Okay.
The reason I hated the episode was the reason I hated the ending, right?
Yeah.
Was because if they would have just had the guts to kill somebody, then and there, I would have been raving about this episode all summer long. I would have been like, I cannot believe they had the guts to kill Daryl, Glenn, Rick, whoever, and it would have been awesome. And it is also the most iconic moment from the comics because it was issue 100 and it changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very brutal in the comics. Like, he's getting his head beaten in, and he's like goes like half mentally challenged because like his brains are getting beat in,
Yeah.
and he's like trying to say Maggie, and he can't really say Maggie, because
Mhm.
he can't finish his words because his brains are getting beaten in. It's very brutal in the comics, and like that's the one thing they had to get right in the show, and they botched it because they were like, they didn't show. I mean, they chickened out. They copped out, and they were like, well, we don't really want to decide on who to kill. We'll decide later. Because
they already know who they're gonna
don't-
kill. Them.
No, they don't. They might know.
Didn't
but
they talk about that on the
the
Talking
actors?
Dead?
The
On the
actors
Talk-
don't know.
Yeah, but the
The
directors.
creators might know, but even if they did, why wouldn't they just do it?
Because you want to keep your fans on longer and longer. That's the goal.
You don't
of
think that's gonna make
cliffhanger.
fans mad?
cliffhanger?
I'm
It's
at-
gonna make everybody mad. That's the point. I'm so mad, but that doesn't mean you stop watching the show. You're gonna
To
keep
me, it
watching
does.
it.
Because they're taking advantage of me. They're saying, no matter what we do, he's gonna watch. To me, they're saying that to me, and I'm not gonna watch. If they end up not killing Daryl or Glenn, I'm not watching the show.
But they
I'm
want to
really
leave
not.
you a reason to come back. I mean, would
If-
you want to watch a
Are you
show
kidding
that
me?
has no
Listen,
reason to come back?
Look, if they would have killed a main character at the end of the season,
If they would have killed Abraham, what would you have done?
that's what I'm saying. If they were gonna kill a
You,
crappy character,
you value Abraham?
no, he's good. But if that build up and you kill Abraham, sorry, but he's not a main character to me.
Is he in the comics?
Yeah, he's in the comics.
Okay, so
I think he gets the arrow through the eye in the comics instead of the doctor in the show.
I like Abraham way better than I think everybody else besides Michonne, Daryl, and Rick. Abraham's next after Michonne, Daryl, and Rick.
I think so too,
For
but
me. And
they're up top here
Yeah.
and he's down here.
no, I don't think he's that far down.
He's
though,
pretty
you know?
far down.
I value Abraham. I think like if I was gonna be out somewhere, I'm gonna want somebody that's like tasked. Like I gotta be on a mission. You know, I'm gonna start fire, shelter, water.
Yeah, I mean he's fine.
You
but
know, like he's gonna take.
he's not a
down-
day one character or essential character right now.
I
They
still
need to
value
kill
him.
somebody big. They won't kill anybody big. They just bring on somebody small and they kill them off. They bring on somebody small, they kill them off. Nobody important has died in a long time.
Yeah.
Important.
Who was important that died? Bob? Was Bob
He
important?
was not important at all.
Tyrese was to me.
He was not important at all.
Tyrese was.
No, there's no way.
Merle. They killed Merle.
He wasn't important.
What if they killed Morgan? He's been there from the beginning. He hasn't been through the whole show.
He's not on the lineup, so he can't die from Negan.
That's what I was thinking. I think Morgan's gonna say. What if they got saved?
They don't. If they did that, they would really anger a lot of people. They won't. They're killing somebody for sure. Promise you that.
Who do you want to die?
Daryl or Glenn?
Okay, that's what you said.
More so Daryl. Not because I don't like the character. I love the character.
Daryl is my favorite.
But they have to kill somebody big. And if it's this whole build-up of the summer, they have to kill somebody even bigger now because they're waiting this whole summer. So now they've moved to, they have to kill the biggest character, Daryl. They have to. In my opinion, they have to.
You can't kill...
You can kill anybody.
My thing is like, they know who is supposed to die, but they don't to kill him. You know, like for example, you know, the doctor thing, like you just said. They're supposed to kill Abraham. Because I don't know, I don't read the comics, I don't know. But you do. You have obviously looked into it, you know. So...
Well, the reason they killed the doctor was because if Maggie did this while the doctor was still in, she would have probably fixed her.
Yeah, she
so
would have saved her.
they needed a reason to have them move out of their town to meet up with Negan, you know.
Yeah.
So anyways,
accidentally.
You get it. I didn't like it.
I enjoyed it because I like.
We'll talk about it whenever season 7 comes out. Because if they start off and they kill Daryl or Glenn, I'm back on. If they don't, I'm out. I'm seriously done. Not gonna watch it.
I think Glenn will die. I think
so?
Who I think will die will be Glenn. You think it'll be Daryl?
Yeah, I'll go with Daryl.
You go with Daryl?
We'll make a bet about it.
Okay.
We'll wager.
All right. What's the wager?
I don't know. We'll decide it.
Later on.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm calling Glenn. I think Glenn's kind of outlived his time. Eugene's outlived his importance too. So is it Rosita to some extent.
Side characters. Nobody cares about them. For this moment, nobody cares about them.
Rick's going to be important all the way till the end. I wonder, do you know what happens at the end of The Walking Dead?
It's still going.
The comic books are still going?
Yeah.
So, I don't even know what's going on in the comic books.
The creator said he's going to keep it going like forever as long as he wants to. I mean, he can do it as long as he wants, he said.
I'm really curious if, like, you know, they ever find a place or if, like, all the... I think what will end up happening, honestly, is, like, all the zombies will end up dying. Like, not, like, dying, but, like, rotten. You know, like, they're already rotted to a certain extent.
Right.
I think after every season, they get more and more rotted.
Yeah, nowadays, you can just kind of rip open a
just
zombie's face
throw
and kill
something.
him.
Yeah, like, you saw, like, her barely grab his head, that chick's head, and it just, like, almost fell off, you know, like... I think that they'll just end up rotting, and then the only danger will be people.
Right.
That's what's scary.
That's what the show's about anyways. Nobody cares about the zombies. They're just kind of in the way, backdrops.
Yeah, but it is about the zombies.
So I hated the episode. You loved it. Let's wrap this up.
Let's do it.
I'm looking tired.
Yeah, you are.
I gotta get up at like 7 tomorrow, so. Alright, well, close this out, Rob.
Alright, guys, thanks for listening. Hope you tune in next week to our all-new episode of Force Sports, Episode 3. May the sports be with you.